Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a teacher. Look at me. You'll see that I'm dead serious. It's time to take the gloves off. I'm blowing the whistle on three very powerful, very prestigious organizations in this country for their wrongful depiction of electrical science history. They are the Smithsonian Institution, the IEEE History Committee at Rutgers University, and the Society for the History of Technology. These three groups write the history for the rest of us to believe. And they want us to believe that Thomas Edison is the king of electricity and that his invention of the light bulb in 1879 led to a second industrial revolution. This is simply not true. The world did not need an electric light bulb in the 19th century. It needed energy and power. The energy of an AC motor and the power to run it. And everything else in industry and our homes. 15 men in the world are credited with making significant advances in electrical science, and they have been so honored by having their names elevated to immortality. The last of these 15 men is an American named Nikola Tesla, born in 1856 and died in 1943. He made the breakthrough discovery in electrical science that made alternating current work. Therefore, I would term him to be the George Washington of electrical science. Just as George Washington was the father of our country, he helped write the Constitution, but in the end, he's the one who defeated the British at Yorktown, and so it was only logical that he become our founding father. The same is true in electrical science. The 14 preceding men who have been so honored for their contributions made significant contributions, but they didn't make electrical science work. They didn't make alternating current, the servant of man. This one man, Nikola Tesla, did. In 1882, he discovered the idea called the rotating magnetic field principle. He had been struggling with it for years. You see, when Faraday invented the dynamo in 1831, it naturally produced alternating current. But at that time, everybody believed that alternating current was a virtual perpetual motion machine. Simply wouldn't work because the current traveled first in one direction and the other direction. Tesla believed there should be a way to make it work, and he struggled until he finally had that breakthrough discovery. He patented it in 1888, and in 1896 his U.S. patents were used for the 1896 Niagara Falls power generating project. That was when power for the first time in large scale was sent using alternating current, Tesla's polyphase alternating current, down to Buffalo, New York, and then down to New York City. From that point, the world exploded with progress. The light bulb had nothing to do with it. Further, he went on to explore high-frequency phenomena, and he devised his four-tune circuits idea for radio. This was the fundamental principle that is fundamental to all radios today. So radio took off, all happening in the 1890s. By Nikola Tesla. I want to show you how the Smithsonian is doing this deceptively. They are not fabricating, they are omitting and twisting words. In a scientific Smithsonian Book of Invention, Thomas Edison's name is mentioned many times throughout. Nikola Tesla is completely omitted. His work and his name is not even in the index. In the Smithsonian Timeline of Invention book, Thomas Edison's name is in there, but Nikola Tesla's is not. His work, his name isn't even in the index. In the book published by the Smithsonian Institution called Lighting a Revolution, and there is a picture of a light bulb with a hand on it, and on this page in here it shows Tesla's AC generators installed in 1896, made by the Westinghouse Corporation, which Tesla was working with to make sure they were done properly. And what they say is this: When the Niagara Falls Power Station began operating in 1895, it signaled the final major act in the revolutionary drama that began in Menlo Park in the fall of 1879. In other words, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb in 1879, and then he invented the AC motor and generator. But they're not saying that. They're showing the picture and letting you conclude that this is what happened, which did not happen. On this page, they show it's all attributed to the General Electric Company. You see, the General Electric Company used to be Edison Electric, but when he was so stubborn about accepting the viability of alternating current, the stockholders kicked him out of his own company and changed the name to General Electric, and that's where it is today. And two, here's how the media reports it. Time Magazine, the history issue, July 5th, 2010. Picture of Edison on the front holding up a light bulb. Thomas Edison, how one powerful idea changed America. If you look inside, there's a picture of Mr. Edison standing next to a generator. And here's what it says. Let there be light. Edison perfected the incandescent bulb and devised a system of electrical current to serve homes and businesses. Well, we have power companies named after Thomas Edison. Where I live, it's Detroit Edison. When I lived in Ohio, it was Ohio Edison. Other parts of the country, it's Consolidated Edison. He had nothing to do with it. This was all a creation of Nikola Tesla. He had all the U.S. patents. There's no dispute about it, except with the Smithsonian, the IEEE History Committee at Rutgers University, and the Society for the History of Technology. These two books explain it all. This is the first book that I discovered, called Prodigal Genius of Life of Nikola Tesla by John J. O'Neill, printed in 1944. Here's the one that verifies it, Tesla, Man Out of Time by Margaret Cheney, printed in 1981. My students and I started a project in 1983 writing letters to people, telling people about Nikola Tesla. We teach cursive writing in the 3rd grade, and this made an interesting subject for them to write about. One thing led to another until we finally were able to get a bust of Tesla. The father of one of my students, a 3rd grade student, created a bust for our classroom. We offered it to the Henry Ford Museum, and they refused it. We offered it to the Smithsonian, and they refused it, claiming they had no use for it. I found out why. They're crediting Edison, essentially, for what Tesla actually did. Not by fabrication, but by deception, twisting of words, displays in museums featuring Thomas Edison as the king of electricity. Well, in addition to that, we have busts now, after selling t-shirts for many years and receiving donations from the letters we wrote. We have busts of Tesla at 19 major universities. Let me name them: Harvard, Yale, Princeton, MIT, Caltech, University of Michigan, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Purdue, Illinois, Maryland, Johns Hopkins, Cornell, Pennsylvania, Penn State, Georgia Tech, Duke, Carnegie Mellon, and Columbia. 19 major universities are acknowledging what I'm saying right now. Therefore, what I'm saying has to be factual. They don't argue with me, they agree. In addition to that, I've written 2 children's books telling of Tesla's childhood. In all the years that I taught, I never saw one mention of Tesla in any science book or history book. But Thomas Edison is featured quite prominently. Why is this? I think you know why now. I would like to get my children's books into elementary and middle school libraries and in children's homes, so that his name is recognized in a popular sense as being the father of our worldwide system of polyphase alternating current and radio, which of course evolved into television and cell phones and remote control and whatever. I hope you will support me, buy these books off my webpage, and give us a helping hand to correct electrical history. Thank you very much.